All right, and we can start right away our teens class. Nice to see everybody. Thank you for waiting. Sometimes we'll get a little late like that because if I get a little late for the preteens section, then of course everything is then following all of that time problem is then following to the other class, to your class. All right, so are we waiting for someone? We are definitely waiting for some people. Hopefully everybody got the message, or at least most of you. And we can start with meditation right away. So let's sit in a comfortable meditation posture. Make sure that your legs, hands, and face are visible in the camera. Caitlin, do you think you can manage? Do you think you can prepare your camera so that your legs, hands, and face are visible? Not sure if Caitlin can hear me. Caitlin, are you here with us? Yes, can you adjust your camera for meditation so I can see your legs, hands, and face? Great. Very well. I'm happy that everybody is properly dressed today. But Paris is not sitting properly. You need to adjust your legs for the posture. Not yet. Not yet, Paris. You will need to make a little bit more adjustment with your legs. I think you don't have enough space, right? That's the problem. Okay, that's better. Paris, make sure you do not lean over the wall. Okay, and make sure that your back is erect. Seems like you're slouching now, Paris. Can you erect your back a little more? All right, good. If you don't know how to erect your back, look at your sister. She's always doing it perfect. So you always learn from your sister. All right. Fine. Looks good. So we can cast the sight down and make the first determination in our minds voicelessly. From now on, for 15 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on, for 15 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. From now on, for 15 minutes, I will meditate on muscles and radiate loving kindness without any movement. And with that determination, we can gently, lovingly notice the flat piece of flesh at the top of the head. We allow it to be heavy and changing. We continue to the forehead, eyes, nose, lips, chin, cheeks, ears, back of the head, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the head to be heavy and changing. Make sure your back is erect. We continue to the neck, shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, tips of fingers, chest, abdomen, back, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the upper part of the body to be heavy and changing. Make sure your back is erect. We continue to the buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, heels, soles, toes, tips of toes, and we allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the body to be heavy and changing. And as we allow all the muscles and flesh to be heavy and changing, we can now allow all of the body to be changing. So we give the body to be the way it is. We give the body the freedom to be the way it is. And thus we achieve freedom from worry about the body. So let's enjoy and watch this freedom. Let's watch this peace. Now let's share our thought of loving kindness with other living beings. You can start in the room where we are now. May all beings in this room be in peace. May all beings in this building be in peace. May all beings in this city or village be in peace. May all beings in this country be in peace. May all beings on this continent be in peace. May all beings in this planet be in peace. May all beings, including me, be in peace. Now, because the time for this sitting is finished, let's make the last determination in our minds voicelessly. From now on, I will always be calm. From now on, I will always be calm. From now on, I will always be calm. And we can slowly, mindfully change the way of our sitting. And let's take one more minute to enjoy the peace we gained in meditation. Okay, everything fine? So now everybody can come closer to your camera. Today we will be reciting the 5 precepts in the Sri Lanka pronunciation, Sinhalese pronunciation. So everybody can unmute and keep your hands together at the chest. Yamahang vadami tang vadeta aham bhante tisaranena saha panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anuggahang katva silang deta me bhante anukampang upadaya. Dutiyampi aham bhante tisaranena saha panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anuggahang katva silang deta me bhante anukampang upadaya. Tatiyampi aham bhante tisaranena saha panchasilang dhammang yajami. Anuggahang katva silang deta me bhante anukampang upadaya. So I will recite Namo Tassat one time, and you can then recite 3 times. Be careful about my speed. so that all of you recite exactly in the same speed as me. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Excellent. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Saranagamang paripurnam. Panatipata veramani sikkha padang samadhiyami. Adinnadana veramani sikkha padang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccācara veramani sikkha padang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkha padang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapamadatthana veramani sikkha padang samadhiyami. Tisaranena saddhing panchasilang dhammang sadhukang surakkitang katva appamadena sampadetham. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you soon attain the eternal bliss of Nibbana. Very well, great. So, Lenghom, I didn't see you here last time. Were you able to catch up with the reading, and up to which page did you read for the book What the Buddha Taught? You got to page 60. And Alma? Okay, okay. That's fine. So Langhom will have it easier the upcoming week. And so that we don't overburden Alma. He's already doing so much. So Langhom, you do not have to read another 20 pages for the next week. Alma, please read so that you get to the same place. Anyone else is reading What the Buddha Taught? Caitlin, you have it all done? Yeah, and you have read. You're reading the introduction. Excellent. Okay. How much have you read from the introduction? The introduction has about 100 pages of the PDF book. So you have read about half of that? Okay. So good news, now it's getting easier and easier. You will have their lists and lists. So by the time you come to 60, 70, I think you get to those lists and that will be very easy for you. So I think by the next week you can have it done because it's really not so much. And it's a lot of technical stuff that you do not need to worry if you don't understand, not at all. It's not meant for you, it's meant for scholars who analyze the Pali language, all right? No worries about that. Okay, so let's start with the notes. Langhom, can you please read for us a note from what the Buddha taught? Yes, thank you very much. Almao? Yes, happiest of beings, sometimes. All right, suffering sometimes comes to the Buddhists and not to others. Sometimes it comes to others and not to the Buddhists. So you need to take it, how to say that, with a big pinch of salt. Okay. All right. Buddhists actually suffer a lot. But truth is that Buddhists are on the way out of suffering, while the others who suffer, they're not on the way out of suffering. Caitlin, you can read for us your note from the introduction. Yeah. So you have read the story number 3. Let me see what exactly that was. Pure is joining us. And that was the Sada fat. Oh, and then we have this the sub story there of Devala and Narada. Oh wow, yes, I remember. Oh, that's horrible. There's a story of cursing and cursing back. Amazing. Amazing. You have read an amazing story. Try to remember it. It's very helpful. In India, it is very common to curse people. In the West, people usually do not curse each other. But in India, it's very common. And in the Buddha's time, it seems that it was just part of their life to curse someone and to be cursed. It's just so much in the scriptures. It's so evil. It's so bad. All right? The Buddha never cursed anyone. And monks are prohibited to curse anyone. But we will see in the scriptures again and again that someone cursed someone else and it was true. And it is not good. And another thing, something that we do see in the West is cursing oneself. Don't do that. It's not easy to avoid curse of someone else, but you can at least avoid cursing yourself. Do not curse yourself, all right? Praise yourself, encourage yourself, all right? Try to find some good qualities. You made a mistake. You made an incredibly big mistake. And what? Next time you will not do it anymore. You have learned your lesson. Never curse yourself. Always praise yourself, encourage yourself. Try to make better plans so for the next time, so that when the same problem happens again, you will be ready and you will do it the best you can. Okay? It is common that people cursed themselves in the Buddha's time, and then it really happened. No, that's not nice. So cursing, you will learn about it more and more as you read the scriptures. And this story that you have read, story number 3 of this Sadafat, is an amazing example of how people cursed each other. You cannot avoid these stories of cursing. It's just so common. But I will tell you a special secret, which probably you have realized from the story. If someone curses you, but you are virtuous, you are pure, they happen to curse themselves. So, and that was this story was an interesting example of that. If you curse someone, you say, "May you be killed by a car accident," or which is the common curse in Myanmar, by the way. That's the curse I learned in Myanmar. So, may a car, a car crash into you, or may you always be poor, or whatever it is. And if someone curses you like that, but you are pure, you really acted with all pure intention to help, to support, to give, to provide whatever it is as an advice or any kind of good deed, or to show your respect, to show your veneration if it is to an older person, or to put things right. So when something was a lie or it was not right, you were explaining how it is right. That all are good deeds. And if someone curses you for doing something good, they happen to put the curse on themselves. So for example, you see someone that they are bullied, and you say to your teacher, "Oh, dear teacher, this person is bullying that person." Then the teacher will resolve it. But the bully, do you call him bully? The one who bullies? But the bully will not be happy with you. Now suppose that the bully will then curse you. They will say, "May a car crash into you." Then actually that bully will probably die by a car crash, not you. So there is an advantage of being virtuous even in a society where people curse each other. So always be virtuous, always be honest, always be true, always follow the 5 precepts, always be open to help, never be selfish, never be stingy, always try to give, try to support as much as you can. You need to use some wisdom, like if somebody comes to you and says, "Give me all your clothes," then you cannot just give them all your clothes and be naked. Now, never do that. Okay, you need to use some kind of wisdom, but help as much as you can. Be virtuous so that you are free from a lot of dangers, and especially the spiritual danger. So this was a very powerful story, and hopefully you have learned something from that story for your life. And if not, at least hopefully my explanation now helped to clarify what the story means. It shows you that if you are pure, the other one who curses you will actually suffer that curse. But it also shows how the Buddha to be was so compassionate that the one who spiritually deserved, like physically had to happen, that he dies by his unfair curse, the Buddha-to-be was still willing to help him and get free from the inevitable death caused by himself, by his wrong curse. And it was successful. So, if I remember correctly, he was then sent to underwater, and he had to make a head from mud, right? Am I saying it correctly? Who read the story? Yaza, did you read the story? Yes. And do I say it correctly that the ascetic had to make a head? He used a fruit, right? He had to use a fruit. What was the fruit? Yaza, will you remember? Fruit. Fruit. A mud? Okay. Okay, then that's good. So he used mud, and then when the sun rose up, okay, the mud fell off, but he stayed healthy and nothing happened to him. Can you imagine? It must be an incredible experience, waiting there under the water until your fake head is cut off. It's incredible. Yeah, life and death, nicely balanced in the Buddha's time. Today, life is very high, death is very low. In the Buddha's time, your certainty of life and death was basically on the same level. You always basically wait until something happens and you die. People died very soon for so many reasons. Getting angry or falling in love, die. You fall in love, die. Getting angry, die. It's incredible. Maybe that's some kind of like weakness in the heart, like that their heart is too much connected to the mind, or the mind is too much connected to the heart, so that when the mind is doing something intensively, the heart follows, and the heart cannot follow. It's too much, so the heart fails and they die. There was an experiment from a judge some time ago. I don't know in which country, but this story is coming from a great Burmese Sayadaw. His name is Pa Chot Sayadaw, which is actually his title. The real name is Ashen Nanda Mala Bhiwonta. Okay, we would write it as Nanda Mala Ashin Nanda Mala Bhivan Sa. Have you ever heard anyone of Pacho Sayadaw? Or yes, Almo has. Anyone else? Caitlin? Anyone else? Yaza, you never heard of Pacho Sayadaw? No? Some of his books are in English. If you search Ashinanda Mala Bhivangsa, many of his books are translated in English, very easily accessible for free. So this Sayadaw has said a story, but I think that one is only in Burmese version. So the Sayadaw has taught a story to the Burmese people in Burmese, where he explains, where he narrates a case of a judge who decided for, how do you call it, capital punishment for the criminal, but he said to the executioners, do not kill him. Blind his eyes, bind something around his eyes so he cannot see. Bind some piece of cloth around his head so he cannot see. Then put him on something to lie down, and with a knife cut his neck in such a way that it seems as if you cut, but you did not cut. It seems as if the blood will trickle, but it does not trickle. Set up a bucket under his neck and bring water and then pour water into that bucket. Understood, everybody? They fake that the blood is trickling from his neck so that the man thinks that he is losing his blood, although he is not. Understood, everyone? Is that clear? So they got him on, to lie down. They made a kind of blow into his neck so that it seems that his blood vessel is open. He had his eyes covered, so he could not see. He could not find out what's going on. And and no blood was trickling from his body at all. Instead, someone else was pouring water into the bucket where where he thought his blood is trickling. And as the person was pouring the water into that bucket, as this criminal thought that he is losing his blood, he died. Isn't that incredible? That's what the mind can do. All right? So, mind can do a lot. So that's why I say don't curse yourself. You need to praise yourself, okay? Encourage yourself. And if you make a mistake, make plans how to do the thing next time better. Okay, good. Some of you already know that story, even better. So this story was very powerful, and I'm very happy that you could read it. Dhammapada stories will provide you with a lot of incredible insight into the Indian culture, but I hope to provide you with some additional explanations that will help you connect these ancient stories with you, your life, and your environment in the modern time. If you ever wonder, how is this story related to me, or what kind of, how do you call that? What kind of wisdom should I take from this story? Just ask me, and I will explain. All right, so let's move on. Caitlin, you have your note ready? Great. Yes, not only that the Buddha did that during his last life as the Buddha, but we believe that the Buddha in many of his previous lives was very determined and worked very, very hard so that in the last life he can become the Buddha. Well, he can become the Buddha and thus make that life his last. All right, so let's continue to our story notes. Sandy, can you please read for us your note from the story? You were making a summary, right? So please read for us the summary. Did you have the summary post in the Facebook? Did you find it? It is there, perfect. Because I totally didn't make it because I'm, now taking care of over 100 people, so that's not easy. And I hope to make a summary soon. But I'm happy that the post was there. The preteens, the third grade, were not that lucky, and they didn't have any posts at all, so they had to post it in Viber. Hopefully this will not happen in the future, but if it does, do not post that in Viber. Just wait for me until I make the post, or when we meet here, I will tell you I didn't make the post, so I will make it, and then you will be publishing both for the past and for the future. But for the time being, I'm happy that we didn't have that problem. So thank you very much for publishing in Facebook. And now please read it for us all. Perfect. Thank you. Paris, do you have your note? Paris, did you read? You were reading what the Buddha taught, or what did, have you already read the full book, what the Buddha taught? Not yet. Okay. So, did you read what the Buddha taught, and up to which page? Right. So find out. And Florence, how about you? Did you read the book what the Buddha taught? A few pages. I see. You see now. Almao and Langham will be at page 60 by the end of the upcoming week. That's a lot of reading. This is not very fortunate. It would be good if all of you can catch up with each other, and at least as you're catching up with the Dhammapada group, that you all are at the same level, so that it's not such a mess. So, what do you think, Florence? Do you think you can read until page 60 this week? You can try, and you will see. Okay. Until which page did you read, Florence? Can you find out exactly? You're having your meal. Paris. Until which page did you read? Can you find out? Would you remember until which chapter did you read, Paris? Which chapter? Okay, so Paris and Florence will be finding out how much did they read from what the Buddha taught, and I will ask who I will ask Yaza to read for us his summary of story number 3. So Tissa refused to apologize even after listening to the story. That is what I'm getting from your summary. Yaza. Yaza, you can unmute and tell us. You believe that is so? I don't believe that. So let me see. I think we don't know. We don't know. The story doesn't say that. Right? The story doesn't say it, right? Yeah. All right. Then, thank you very much. So, Florence, did you find out up to which page did you read? Please talk louder. I cannot hear you well. So until page 17, 17? Okay, good. So that's not so bad. Try to read until page 40 the next week. Do you think you can make it? Do you think you can read until page 40? What is it? I'm not hearing you. You can try, of course. Try and try. You can fly. What about Paris? Uh-huh. What's the page? Chapter 2 is also something like 20, right? Okay. So, try to read until page 40. Do you think you can make it, Paris? Okay. So, that's the way it is. Uh, I have accepted you all for this grade 5 with the condition that you will be doing more homework. So hopefully you will remember that. And of course, if I see that it's dragging too long, I will have to ask you to join us in grade 4, which is doing the same thing that you are doing right now. You are reading what the Buddha taught. Grade 4 is reading what the Buddha taught, except that they are much slower. They will be at page 30 by the end of the next week. So, but of course, the time is not so beautiful. Paris and Florence, by this time, I have 11:09 a.m. in Singapore, but the time that we have for grade 4 is very late at night. It is 11 p.m. for Paris and Florence that grade 4 class starts. That's not easy, and they would have to study that until the midnight. But depends. Florence, what do you think? Do you think that it would be more comfortable for you to take it? No, it would. No. Okay, resolved. So make sure that you do your homework, all right? Because that's the main condition for following this class, that you catch up with others. Fine, we are already over time. Anyone has any question related to the book or to Dhamma or to Buddhism or to me or anything at all you want to know? Now is your best opportunity to ask. Nothing to ask, everything is clear. If you have ever question that you don't dare to ask me, in front of the other people's, you can write it for me in the private message in the chat box here in Zoom, so that I see the question. Don't worry, I will not reveal your name, and I will then answer that question for everyone, especially for you. So never worry to ask me any question. I take it as my special quality that I can answer questions up to the satisfaction of the one who asks. So anytime you can ask me if something is not clear. I believe I'm a very reliable and very eloquent person to answer and clarify anything related to the Buddha or his teachings, or anything closely or distantly related to the Buddha's teachings. Fine. It was a pleasure to see everybody again. Hope to see you next week. Next week I'll be connecting with you from Thailand, probably. Or, yes, probably from Thailand, from Bangkok. I think I will be in Bangkok. All right. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you be successful in everything you do. Yes. Prepare story 4 for next week. Okay. Story 4. Let me show you before you run, everybody. Story 4 is. Let me see how long is that. Story 4 is relatively short. Look at that. It's just 5 pages. So everybody, please do that. Not just those who already have read what the Buddha taught, but Paris, Florence, Aomao, Lenghom, Everybody please read story 4. If you also read what the Buddha taught, read that in addition, so that after some time you catch up with everybody. Nice. See everybody. Bye-bye.